Let me quickly talk to you about Citibank 5 million EIN only business installment loan versus business line of credit. Which one should you go after? Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee you. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Suri Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to help you decide between a Citibank business loan and a Citibank business credit line. You can get either funding program on an EIN only basis or without EIN. One thing you need to understand is that Citigroup is still a financial behemoth in the country, and they do offer very generous business loan programs and business line of credit programs. And it's important to understand that they also have a large constellation of lending products that they grant to small businesses, including term loans and also commercial real estate loans. Okay, it's important to understand that the banks has suffered from some, I would say, reputational issues lately and sort of less than stellar customer service. But if you actually accept all of those things, the loans themselves are pretty generous in terms of the amount they give you. So big decision time. Are you interested in Citibank's EIN only business installment loan? Or are you interested in business on a credit? Talk to me about that. Because you need to understand the pros and cons of either products. Now, I'm going to go into details later on. But the pros for Citibank business lending in general include the financing is suited for small to large businesses. Rates tend to be cheap, long-term financing options available, and few additional fees. In terms of cons, borrower qualifications might be hard to meet in some cases. There's no transparency in terms of the website advertising, and Citibank still suffers from less than stellar public reputation. I've said that before. And what kind of services does Citibank offers in terms of small business lending? So besides the business installment loan and the business line of credit, Citibank is also very active in terms of healthcare acquisition financing, and they also do commercial mortgages, so commercial real estate loans. So you just need to think about that. Those are four main categories, but within each category, you have several subcategories of funding programs. Everything starts with establishing a relationship with Citibank. Everything starts with having a business account, a business savings account, or some kind of relationship. You got to have deposit accounts and also use Citibank for other services too. Let's first talk about the business loan, folks. So this is the business loan, aka the business installment loan. So this is great for long-term initiatives. Okay, so because here you have the opportunity to grow your business with the ease of fixed monthly payments. So you can acquire equipment, machinery, and vehicles. Those are long-term assets. You can renovate your facilities. You can expand your business. So the loan amounts here oscillates from $5,000 to $5 million. Okay, you can see this is really, really generous, and terms up to 7 years. And the good thing is that even though they say 7 years, you can choose anything between. You can go 5 years, you can go 6 years. It's totally up to you. And they do have competitive fixed rate for the interest rate. And one thing you need to be careful about, and I've said this before, it's a lot better to go to a branch. You want to apply at a branch, okay? Obviously, you need to have a relationship with Citibank. You need to be established and operating within the United States. And in some cases, Citi might require personal guarantees from all owners collectively owning 51% or more of the business. So they're interested in the majority equity in the business. Okay, you want to get you want to prepare your documents before you visit the branch. Very important. And here are some information that you need. Obviously, you need your business financial statements. So we're talking about the 4 of them, not just 3, 4. So we have your balance sheet, your income statements, your statement of cash flows, and your statement of owner's equity, because they're going to look into the owner's equity statement to see exactly who owns 51% of the business, 51% or more of the business, and get all the personal guarantees from those individuals if there is a need to. And so you might also show Citibank, I would say, a business plan, especially if you're going for a high limit, for a high loan amount, 5 million, 4 million, 3 million. They're not just giving you 3 million if you cannot explain to them how you're going to use the money. Okay, so you are going to use the money in a certain way, but also explain to them how you are able to generate more revenue with the money they're going to lend you. So this is very important here. In terms of all the other documents, you need to provide name, date of birth. That's for the individuals, okay? But you also need to provide information about the business itself, including the business name, the EIN number, the transaction activity, the number of employees overall. And for individuals, of course, name, social. If you do it without EIN, of course, you have to talk about the country of residence, country of citizenship, and you might also provide associated individuals, information about the associated individuals, right? Authorized signers, account signers, and all that kind of stuff. Let's talk about the business line of credit, folks. Citi business line of credit. So when you think about business line of credit, you want to think about flexibility, but short-term flexibility, because we are speaking about having, so no matter what your business requires, Citibank's business credit line can be used to finance a wide range of short-term and recurring needs up to $5 million. So again, here the cap is $5 million. And the good thing is that you have a continuously available revolving line of credit, so you can take care of cash flow gaps. This is really important, especially when we talk about seasonality and cyclicality. It's important in your business to take care of the cash flow gaps. If you have unexpected costs and business opportunities, also you can use the money, the revolving line of credit, to seize those business opportunities. You are able to have a business that is more adaptable. You can finance seasonal or recurring needs. You can purchase inventory and pay operating expenses. You can increase working capital. Very important. Money, money, money. Money, money, money. It's all I'm talking about here. So when you think about the business line of credit, you're thinking about opportunities. Okay. The line amount here, the regular line amount, goes all the way to, so first you have two line amounts. You have the business credit account. The line amounts goes from $10,000 to $250,000. Here you have the terms are revolving. Okay, so this is great if your business needs convenient access to cash for short-term needs. And then you have a relationship-ready credit. And here the line amount goes from $250,000 to $5 million. And so this is ideal if your business has larger working capital needs. Now, a larger working capital needs means a larger working capital. And we all know that working capital means short-term assets minus short-term liabilities. So you better have, for you to qualify for this $5 million loan, you better have significant assets. Okay, so they will be paying attention to that. And in terms of the requirements, of course, obviously you need to maintain a relationship with the Citibank. That makes sense. And they want to make sure that your business is established and operating within the United States. They will ask for documents. So what do you bring to the branch? And we recommend that you go to a branch to apply for this business line of credit. So you would bring, I've said this before, your business plan, your financial statements. They might ask for the business tax returns for the last 3 years. So here we are speaking about your 1065, your 1120S or 1120C, depending on the legal structure of your business, and everything else in terms of the individuals, their ID, their name, date of birth, residential address, social, all that kind of good stuff. You need to provide that. Let me talk to you about healthcare funding, because this is important. So when we talk about Citibank EIN only business installment loan and business line of credit, it's important to also mention that Citibank it's very strong when it comes to healthcare funding. They've been kicking ass in that department, in that sector, for the last 5 years. So this is really good. And so if you're thinking about purchasing a practice or refinancing an existing one, Citibank offers competitive fixed rate and flexible financing. Okay, so you can use the money to acquire a healthcare practice, refinance existing practice debt, purchase equipment for practice, finance buy-in and buyouts, and finance commercial real estate. This is really good, right? So big decision time, big decision time. Are you interested in this healthcare funding program? Are you? Talk to me. Because if you are, this is great because the loan amount here, $250,000 to $5 million. And we love the fact that the tenor on this loan is 10 years. 10 years. Wonderful. So you have enough time to repay the loan. And the interest rates are competitive. Citibank does not disclose the interest rates on their website, but based on our research, it hovers between 5% to 15%. Okay, depending, of course, on the creditworthiness of the business, the financial performance of the business, but also in some cases, the creditworthiness of the individual applicant. So those are really important. So if you are currently listening to me and you are in healthcare and you are looking for a loan to acquire a healthcare practice or refinance your existing healthcare practice debts, think about the healthcare funding program at Citibank. In terms of the application here, folks, you can also apply online, but it's just a lot better to apply at a branch or over the phone. But again, Citibank is a financial behemoth. They have branches nearly everywhere in the country. So chances are you will have a branch near you and you want to drive to the branch, sit down with the loan rep, have a conversation. You want to, of course, make sure that you maintain a relationship with Citibank, an MPR, a multi-product relationship. So this is important. And you also want to make sure that you bring all the paperwork that I've said to you earlier. This applies to a business plan also. A business plan is really important, especially if you are asking for a lot of money. If you're asking for 7 digits, you better be prepared to explain to Citibank loan reps what you're going to use the money for, and most importantly, how the money is going to help you generate more revenue. This is the causality they want to pay attention to. Very important. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Studio Kiwi Show. We are still having a conversation. We're having a comparative analysis of Citibank's EIN only business installment loan and business line of credit. I'll also talk to you briefly about the healthcare funding program. Now I want to talk to you about the eligibility. Very important. How do you qualify for this either business loan or this business line of credit or even this healthcare funding? One thing you need to understand is that Citibank does not disclose credit requirements, but you can expect to have a hard time qualifying if your credit score is below the 575 mark, 575, 550. And that is, of course, if you have a strong relationship with Citibank, a strong MPR. And I really want to emphasize the word strong. You need to have multiple account relationships with Citibank to qualify if you have a low credit score. Minimum time in business, 2 years. Your PAYDEX business credit score, your Dun & Bradstreet, if you have one, should be at least 70. Your revenue per year, $120,000, that's gross revenue. And your DTI must be maximum 35%. DTI stands for debt to income ratio. So what I'm trying to say here is that the more money you want from Citibank, the more I would say the tighter relationship you should have with Citi, and you also need to make sure that your business is performant enough to qualify for the loan amount that you're looking for, okay? And it's also important that in terms of the documents you need to bring to a Citibank loan officer, you want to pay attention. You want to have your personal financial statements. It's important because they want to make sure that personally you are also liquidity-wise, you are strong. So big decision time. Do you currently have your personal financial statement ready? Have you compiled them? Have you prepared them? There are a lot of software tools out there that help you prepare personal financial statements. So when we talk about your personal financial statement, we're paying attention to 3 things: your cash flow statements, your balance sheet, your personal balance sheet, and your personal income statement. Okay, Citibank also want to have business financial statements. I spoke about that earlier. In some cases, they might want to see what they call the disclosure notes. So when we speak about business financial statements, we speak traditionally about 4 financial statements, but in some cases, you might want to add disclosure notes to explain whatever you want to explain that pertains to the business financial statements. You might also have to attach your tax returns, your personal tax returns for the most recent tax year. Let's quickly do some comparison here, folks. Let's compare this Citibank EIN only business funding, either at the business installment loan or at the business line of credit. Let's compare that with other players. So first, we have Smart Biz. When you think about Smart Biz, you have loan amounts that go from $30,000 to $500,000. Here you have 2 to 5 year repayment terms, fixed interest rate from 6.99% to 24.89%. And you have no prepayment penalties. So here already, right off the bat, you see with Smart Biz that we have APR transparency. They're telling you upfront how much this is going to cost you. So you see a range, something you don't have with Citibank. Citibank is pretty opaque when it comes to loan transparency, when it comes to loan APR. And to qualify for the Smart Biz loan, 2 years in business, and business owners must be U.S. citizens or legal permanent resident. Business owners must have personal credit score above 660, and you can get some cash flows to support loan payments. And Smart Biz does not allow bankruptcies or foreclosures in the last 3 years. And if you have outstanding tax liens, they're not going to qualify you. The second loan I want to talk to you about is the one that comes from Chase. So with Chase, you have a term loan, a draw loan, and an advised line. So the term loan, you have fixed and variable rate options. For the draw loan, you have draw period from the draw period up to 12 months, followed by a fully amortizing repayment term. And you have for the advised line, you have a pre-approved period, allowing you to make purchases for up to 12 months. Okay, you can lock in rates and terms at the time each purchase is made. So you have loan amounts that starts as low as $10,000 and go all the way to $5 million, and in some cases we have seen $10 million. It's all about your relationship with the bank. You have 100% financing plus up to 10% in soft cost. You have terms as long as 7 years or up to 75% of the equipment's estimated useful life, and you have fixed or variable rates. So those are really, really good, and we love the fact that you have equipment financing. You can enjoy potential tax benefits of ownership. This is really good. And with Chase, you can hold the title and capitalize the equipment, and the bank will hold the security interest in the equipment. So those are really good. You have to think about that. And overall, with Chase, you have flexible payment structures to match the business's cash availability. We have covered Chase's EIN only business funding on other shows. So if you're interested, go watch those shows. I want to talk to you about other information before we close today's conversation. It's important to understand that when we talk about a Citibank, they might impose some geographic restrictions on some of their lending programs, and you will also need a Citibank business banking accounts at a minimum, as well as certain guarantees from all owners collectively owning 51% or more of the business. I have spoken about that before. The PG requirement, the 51%. Especially if the business's finances are a little shaky, and or the owners have less than stellar credit. So this is important. In terms of the application process, we would say that it is pretty standard. It goes really fast. For a big national bank, you're looking at 3 to 7 days, and in some cases 10 business days. Again, if you already have the relationship with them, this is really good. Okay, it'll go even faster. And let's talk about sales and advertising transparency. Citibank has a lot of work to do here. Honestly, they could be more transparent in terms of APRs, in terms of their advertising. The one thing you need to understand is when you go to Citibank's website, it is very crowded. It is text heavy. It is not especially useful, not at all. Especially when you compare that usefulness, that user friendliness to their competitors. Citibank is lacking in that department. So they need to improve this department. They need to improve their user friendliness. Okay. And in terms of customer service, they could still do better. Okay. Even though you can reach out to Citibank via phone or at the branch or even via email. This is possible. In terms of user reviews, they still need to work on that. We do have a lot of negative reviews online, and this is something that Citibank is aware of. They have declared this publicly, and they are working on it. And so they have negative reviews when it comes to account problems, fees, and the fact that the bank has been part of a number of major scandals, major legal scandals recently. Okay, they've been accused of price fixing, illegal credit card practices, hedge fund fraud, and overcharging customers. So this is not the kind of stuff you want to hear when you are about to apply for a loan, right? But again, this is Citibank. They're a big bank. They've been around for more than 100 years, and that's what it is. And in terms of positive reviews, they have good rates. They have great physical coverage. They have many branches, and they have a wide range of products. All right, folks, this is it for today's conversation. I was quickly talking to you about Citibank's EIN only business installment loan versus business line of credit. I took the opportunity to also talk to you about the Citibank's healthcare funding. And overall, this is a great product. This is a great bank to borrow from, as long as you have the relationship and you are willing to work with the bank over the long term. Thank you so much, folks. I'll speak to you another day. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.